Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends. And welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters, creators, and examine the stories and the art. And I want to apologize for the background noise. Just as I was setting up to shoot, my wife started to put a load of laundry in the wash machine. So that's the wash machine you hear in the background. I had to turn up the music a little bit to try to drown it out a little bit. So what I've got this time is a fistful of more or less random stuff from my random books from a comic box, and stuff I haven't shown here before, and may or may not do in-depth on some of these sometime in the future. Probably will this first one, because the first one we're going to look at here is The Middleman. These are trade paperback. Middleman is the trade paperback imperative. Of course, The Middleman was an independent series in the early 2000s. It's about 2004, 2005, 06, around in there. And this is by Javier Grillo Marho, however you pronounce that, and Les McLean. That's an easier one to pronounce. And I have never seen these on the stand in the comic shop, especially back then when it was first published in regular comic book format. I was introduced to The Middleman via the Freeform TV series from 2008, which only ran for one season, but I had never heard of it. I watched it and I loved it because it was an adventure comedy, and that's what this book is, an adventure comedy. And it's what if comic book evil was real, but there were no proper superheroes to take care of it. And the Middleman is a James Bondian type guy who takes care of it, along with Wendy Watson, his assistant. And we never find out the guy's name. He's just known as the Middleman. And it's some nice, and I've really enjoyed this. This first adventure has some really nice artwork, a very indie look, but also mainstream look. And it has it turns out that the villain is a gorilla or an ape. In the show, it was a gorilla. It looks like more like a chimpanzee here, who is the subject of some experiments and is super intelligent and stuff. But now, this whole first adventure was adapted into the the pilot episode, and they did a great job in that adaptation. There are some sketches and stuff, character designs and stuff in the background in the sketchbook, and that is the first, the trade paperback imperative, the first Middleman adventure. And then this is the third volume of Middleman. These two are the only ones I've got. The third volume, Inescapability. You can tell by the kinds of titles. It's just some fun, silliness going on with a lot of adventure. In a way, I'm kind of surprised that it became a live action show and not an animated series, or at least an animated series after the fact, because it's something that would go pretty well. It's a lot of fun, and if you haven't taken interest in The Middleman, check it out. Just check it out. Both the show and the comic. I don't know how many volumes they had. I don't know how long it ran, but this is because these two volumes is all I've got. Then from 2001 have the Tim Burton version of Planet of the Apes, the official adaptation of the Tim Burton movie. And I have duplicates here, variant covers, and I hate variants. And I think, oh, just because I'm such an Apes fan, that's probably why I got it. And as written by Scott Alley with pencils by, is that Davide Fabri? Oh, I don't know. And it's some nice artwork, nice visual storytelling, and they seems to be a pretty good adaptation of the movie. And I know most people don't like the movie. We're Apes fans, and we really enjoyed it. We had some great costumes. Has some writing problems, yes, but the most unappealing part of this movie was Mark Wahlberg. So terribly miscast. It was beyond his capabilities. There's that one, and then this one, same thing. Interior is the same, just the variant cover. That's from 2001. Here we go from 1986 and 87. The Watchmen. I have the entire series somewhere, and these few issues are duplicates, if I remember correctly. So I have issues here's issue number 6 of 12. It's Rorschach, and remember, on the back cover has the clock, and each issue, the second hand gets closer to midnight. And of course there's the movie from several years ago, which I think was a great adaptation, and I liked the conclusion of that better than I liked the conclusion of the comic. And of course Alan Moore, written by Alan Moore, drawn by Dave Gibbons, and is a great piece of comic book work. This issue happens to be really cool because it's got the that great where is it? Prison Riot. No, it's not in this issue yet. That's in the next issue. This is when he goes to prison. Rorschach goes to prison. That's issue 6. And have issue 7. This is the one that's got the prison riot. It has some great stuff, and that was a great scene in the movie, and is a great scene here. Well, I thought, no, it must be the next one that actually has the prison riot. We'll get there. That says the owl and stuff. And then issue 8. This is the one credited. It has the owl figure. Yeah, this is it. This is it. The great scene with the prison riot when Silk Spectre and Owl take care of business while in the prison they're trying to kill Rorschach, and they don't stand a chance against him. Yeah. And then we have issue number 9. And this one is one where with what's his name? I suddenly cannot think of his name. Anyway, and Silk Spectre go to the moon, and he can't understand why she's suffocating, so he changes things, builds this beautiful crystal cathedral and stuff like that. Oh, the miniseries as and reprint as a graphic novel is just a beautiful piece of work. It gets kind of hard to follow sometimes because it's going bebopping back and forth between in time, telling the story, and it also has the subplot in some spots of the pirate comic stories. That's some really cool stuff. Then here, I've done a whole episode on a different issue of Lost in Space from Innovation. This was what year was this? I forgot to look. 1993, Innovation Comics. This is Lost in Space Annual. This is Lost in Space, the movie, written by Peter David and Bill Mumy. And who is the artist? See, Peter David, Bill Mumy, Jim Key, and Michael some name I can't pronounce, and some really marvelous work. Of course, this was supposed to take place a few years after the run of the TV show. And of course, Bill Mumy, one of the writers, was the actor who played Will Robinson. And this story is basically what happened to Baby Bloop. Because remember, in the second season they had the Bloop, the little space monkey chimp, and then when we went to the third season they no longer had the Bloop. So the story is flashing back to the adventure in between seasons when they no longer had the Bloop. And also great artwork. And in this story, in the flashback, they come upon some aliens making a movie of basically them, of people lost in space. And this is, from the looks, this is more based on the movie that they're shooting is more based on the Gold Key Lost in Space comic. And that's funny. I think that's funny. And all these costumes, and the Robinsons get roped into being actors in the show and stuff like that. And in the process, anyway, in the long run, they have some conflicts trying to keep because they're being held against their will. And it even has a scene in here. Where is it? Yeah, with John Robinson in sword fight a la Zorro, because Guy Williams played Zorro for Disney, and as a swords, but they eventually get away. But the Bloop stays behind because she becomes a movie star, and that is a lot of fun. And then we finish it off with, from Riff Off Press, 1991. This is Dr. Bang and His Big Guns, #1. This is just weird. I mean, some marvelous artwork, but almost no visual storytelling involved with some. But it's just this is by what's his name? Lyndall Ferguson. I've shown some of the stuff by him before in some of the underground stuff, and it's some really cool artwork, but works better for underground or some postery type stuff. Doesn't do so nearly as well for, see, like something like that, make a great poster. Does very little for visual storytelling, and it is really, really hard to follow what's going on. But it's just some amazing artwork. And I don't know if you can see it very well there. But, oh yeah, see, like that. That's just a really, really amazing. I don't know whatever became of him, because I had a few things, got a few things of his work in the 80s and early 90s. And that's the main reason I bought it, is because of the amazing artwork. But I have no idea what I might have to look in on some of that stuff sometime. So that is what I had to share with you this time for this little bit of fun romp of some random comics. And thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Tell me, what do you think of these various books? How much did you love Watchmen? Are you familiar with The Middleman? Did you like this version of, at least the comic version of Planet of the Apes, or the movie version? Or is that something you just like ignore entirely? Or what about Lost in Space? I love Lost in Space. Let me know in the comments down below. And remember, comics are art.